this is Sean with Gate City Foundation Drainage. I'm out on a job today and I'm in Greensboro, and I've got this sump pump that has stopped working, and so I'm going to replace it today. The homeowner said that it keeps tripping the breaker. And so the other thing that's going on here is we have like a 10-foot cord here, and he normally plugs it into this extension cord, so that's a big no-no. And luckily though, they do have a nice conduit going across here and into a plug-in over there. So I brought a pump with a 25-foot cord on it, so we'll be able to just use the cord from the manufacturer. So that's what I'm working on today. So first thing I want to do is get this water out of here, and I've got a new gadget for that. This is a drill pump, so I'll show you more about that and we'll see if it works. I just bought this, so it's supposed to be able to pump fairly small amounts of water like this, so we'll see how it does. It's definitely pumping it down. Okay, I've got this pumped down enough to see that we have a combination union and check valve here. So I should be able to undo these two 5/16 inch nuts. There's a ton of head on it. That's what that check valve is for. Alright, this is showing exactly what that check valve is supposed to do. All the water in this line, which is going uphill apparently to the curb up there, is now all falling back into the basin. And so that check valve, which is right here, it's a one-way valve, that is designed to stop that from happening so that the water doesn't pump up and then lower and kick off, and then it all drains back and then it pumps and cycles again. So that's what that check valve is supposed to do, is keep that water from flowing back into the basin. So this is the old pump, and we have quite the aquatic ecosystem in here. This is a that is a crane fly larva, Tepulidea. So he's been living in there. Well, he was floating on the surface, so I didn't kill him. But anyway, there's another one. And you can see those anal gills too on that. Anyway, that might be Dicronota right there. I'm not sure. I'd have to look at it under a scope. Okay, this is a copy of Merritt and Cummins. This is the 96 version. And I was looking up Tepulidea here. These are aquatic tepulids. And I know that was a tepulid, but I was looking at Dicronota, and I don't think it's Dicronota, because Dicronota has these more, they aren't really a disc like this one. So I don't think it was Dicronota. But it was definitely a tepulid larva, and I wanted to show you. I must have drawn this smiley face with these spherical openings, probably what, 2008 or something like that. So I gave that thing a smiley face. I hope you like that. Okay, I wanted to talk for a minute about the concept of a larva. So I was just looking at that tepulid. So this is a crane fly, and you may have, I'm sure you guys have seen these things before. Some of their common names are mosquito eaters and things like that, but these are harmless. They're pretty large too. They can get pretty big. But there's the adult, and there's the larva. So what is the evolutionary context, or what's the evolutionary significance of having a completely different body form for the baby and the adult? Oftentimes as well, the larva lives in a completely different ecosystem. So let's think about it for a second. If you are a bunch of adults, have a population of a bunch of adults, and each of you lays 1,000 eggs, and all those eggs they hatch into miniature adults, then you're all competing with each other for food, space, whatever resources in your particular niche. And so by having a larva, which has a completely different morphology, different body shape, different feeding habits, everything, different ecosystem, all those 1,000 eggs that you just laid, all those babies are not going to be competing with the adults. And so that's one of the main evolutionary reasons for having a larva that then metamorphoses into an adult. Some other larvae you may be familiar with are larvae of houseflies, maggots, things like that. And here's another aquatic one. These are Trichoptera caddisflies. Now, I don't know the first thing about identifying adults of these things, but the larvae live in streams. And so I've spent probably hundreds, if not thousands of hours in this book identifying Trichoptera larvae. And so these guys are good indicators of stream quality and stream health and things like that. So they have a very, very different morphology from the adults that fly around. These guys actually build little cases. Some of them build them out of sand particles. Some of them build them out of like little log cabins, out of debris, organic debris, things like that. Inorganic debris, pebbles, sand. So lots of different shapes. There's one that is out of some organic matter. There's the log cabin one right there. So anyway, that's a little bit about larvae versus adults. Here I am back at the sump basin, and I'm just getting my new sump pump, installed it in place. And so I put on new check valve, the same one that they had, which is the combination union or quick release and check valve. And then I'm just trying to get it positioned in here and just kind of like wrestling it into place on top of that discharge pipe. So that's what I'm working on right here, getting that new sump pump put in place. Okay, I'm over here at the plug. I'm hoping that that wire will fish through here. But it's not going to. Damn. Yeah, there's no way. That's like solid in there. Well, crap. Okay, I thought the conduit went all the way up here and I could just fish that wire. And so the homeowner's not answering the phone. I was gonna call him. We really need to dig up that conduit right there and run that, feed that cord through there. So the manufacturer of these pumps doesn't want you to plug them into extension cords. So I'm gonna unplug this and tell the homeowner that we need to come back here and do this correctly. That's the whole reason I got the extended cord length on there. And so the final thing I'm going to do here is spread a little bit of gravel around this thing and try to get rid of some of this mud. But the pump is in place, it's working. It just evacuated everything out of there. And so I'm going to leave it unplugged and talk to the homeowner. I wanted to show you, this was the drill pump 750 that I used to do that. And so just having that water pumped out of there made it a lot more handy to get into it. So I'll put a link for this little guy. I can see a ton of uses for it. And from what I read online, if you're going to be pumping a ton, these cordless drills don't really cut it. But for that little bit, it worked just fine. This is Sean. I'm out here today looking at a pump that we installed about 3 years ago. And so this thing has been working non-stop for 3 years. This whole area is just like a bowl right here. And so we've got one pump here and one pump at the front. So they said it stopped working and the receptacles are working. So I'm going to get this area pumped out. To do that, I'm going to use a non-submersible pump right here. So I'm just getting that set up. So let me get some of this water down and see where we're at. I'm pumping that water over here into this front basin because my hose won't reach the curb there. So I definitely wore the wrong shoes for this job too. These are just not waterproof at all. I should have brought a better pump. I'm going to be here forever. Hello.
Hi. How's it coming?
Well, I should have brought a bigger pump. I'm not sure what happened to the lid here, but there's only one bolt left in here. The homeowner said that the HOA has whoever landscaping and lawn crews coming through here, so she's not sure why the lid's popped up like that, but we'll find out, I guess. All right, I just reached in here and it looks like the float was clogged with debris, so I think I just got the pump to click on. So it looks like it's pumping.
I can't believe you can see it. What do you put a
No, I just reached in there. The water's freezing cold, but I reached in there.
Do you need a towel?
No, I'm okay. It's not too bad in the sunshine. But I think that's all it was. It's pumping like crazy now. Let's go see if it's coming out of the street.
You need to seal that.
I'm gonna turn this thing off.
So we need to seal that. Put hardware on it.
Yeah.
Oh, it is pumping like crazy.
Okay. Well, that might be all that was. Should have done that to begin with instead of getting that little pump set up. Alright, I'm just going to try to clean out any debris that's in here, but this pump is working just fine now. I think the float had some debris on it, the float plate. Okay, I'm just getting this pump cleaned up here, and this thing would not have done it. So I'm going to hang on to this for small jobs, but I think I want to use my trash pump for another big job like that. And there, the pump's coming on again. And the homeowner did send me a picture, so I guess I kind of knew there was a lot of water. But anyway, and I did have another pump in case I needed one. But her pump is still pumping away. Okay, the homeowner asked me if I would replace this toilet valve, fill valve. And so before I did anything, I turned the water on to check and make sure if that was it. But look at what's happening here. If the fill valve was not working, the water level would come all the way up and it wouldn't turn off. And it would be overflowing into here. So what's happening here is the flapper is not sealing all the way. So I've got a flapper kit. I'm going to see if this will work. Well, that's a good sign. It's filling up more than it was before. So I think that's all it was. It's a good thing I didn't install this. You know I'm always talking on the camera. Okay, I don't think you needed that fill kit.
Okay.
It was a flapper.
Okay. So we can return it.
Okay, I'm not sure where those other bolts went, but I've got some new ones here. These are all stainless. So I'll get this lid bolted back on here. And hopefully no more debris will get into it. So let me get those on real quick. I gotta set the camera down. Not too bad. All right, and with that, I'm out of here. I hope you enjoyed these two small projects, and I typically don't film these small things, and so I almost didn't film these. But let me know if you'd like to see more small stuff like this as opposed to the large drainage projects. So thanks for watching, and you know what to do here. I'll see you on the next one.